underline. Separately, you can configure the effects and define them. So you can specify the text decoration style, text decoration line, and text decoration color. Actually, we can all define with only one shorthand, text decoration. In the text decoration, we can give as solid. So suppose 20 pixels, and we have underline. Like this, we can configure. So that's how it can define. You can add various options like 10 pixel and say wavy. We can give that wavy underline. We can change the size and configure the size. Now I need to understand your question. So who is this? Arjun. Yes, what I am unable to understand your question. Can you tell what is your question? Arjun?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my question is that we can highlight this line.
What do you mean by highlight the line?
My mean is that, sir, this is you write welcome to HTML. So we highlighted some colors in the line like red, blue, green.
That is what I showed you, line color, na?
Yes, sure.
Is there anything else highlighting means?
Sir, highlighting means that this
color only.
Yes.
Already we saw that, na?
Yes.
Then what else highlight is? Color is highlight, huh?
Yes.
No. Because already we learned color and I don't know what else highlight you are talking about. That's the reason I need to ask you what is highlighting the color, right? So technically all you can define here. Suppose I said red, so then it will be in that appearance, it will configure it. So text decoration have options like its thickness, its style, and its color. All these comes under text decoration, how you keep the text decoration. So it can be underline. So you can give the options like overline. So you can give the options like, so yeah, these two. These are basically defined with text effects. Now, shadow already we learned. We discussed about shadow, text shadow, box shadow, text shadow I showed you. We can apply the shadow for the text. And suppose I said font size as 40 pixels and the size will increase. So all 100 pixels, the font size will increase. And if you want to give shadow, text shadow, 3 values will be there. Horizontal pixels, vertical pixels, blur, and color. So that will be the text shadow. Those options already we discussed. Same like how you configure for box shadow. Text shadow also the same option you are defining here. That is text shadow. So text alignment, left, center, right, justified already. We know these also. Text align, so like left or center or right. These we were using every time. So text alignment, you can configure that. Okay. Next, line height. It is used to keep some space between the lines, especially when you are dealing with some paragraphs or some ordered list, unordered list. We can keep some space. For example, if there is a paragraph. So for paragraph, if there is an ordered list, unordered list, for that we were using margins, margin bottom, margin top. but some paragraph, in that paragraph, I want some space between the lines. Then we can keep as line height as 20 pixels. Then space between lines will increase. So default it is some size and 40 pixels. The space between the lines will increase. So we can increase the space between lines and configure by using line height. So that is line height. We can give space between the letters. We have letter spacing. Letter spacing as 5 pixel. There will be space between the letters. You can give the space between words. You can keep word spacing. So word spacing is some 10 pixels. The space between words also will increase. Space between the letters, space between the words, and space between the lines. Suppose sometimes we want first line with some space. Then we have text indent. Text indent 100 pixels. Text indent will keep first line from some space. So suppose I say text align as justify, and the line height is line height as some 25 pixels. Line height will increase, and justify alignment, first line will have some space. That is what actually first line indent. We can keep it with text indent actually. How many pixels you want? Suppose 80 pixels. Text indent will be 80 pixels. 70, 50 text indent you can adjust. First line indent you can keep from some space so that you can define with first line indent. That is actually text indent. So text shadow, text align, line height, line letter spacing, word spacing, text indent. Font variant also you can give uppercase. Font variant also you can give all a variant. So font variant. You can give small caps. So you can see it will be converted into capital letters without changing the size. Generally, you can do that with the text transform also. But text transform, you say uppercase, it will convert to uppercase by changing the size. We need to keep the same size but convert into uppercase. Then in that case, you can go with, so the option font variant. Font variant, small caps. Then automatically it will use small capitals. So without changing the size. So it is going to convert that into capital letters that you can define by using these text effects. So that is different options, how you configure. Next, one more important is in the text effects. We have text overflow white space. Overflow white space and overflow. Already yesterday we discussed overflow. Overflow, text overflow, white space. These all are combinations actually. We have to define the combinations. You cannot use one simply. So we have to give the combination. We have to define the combination. For example, suppose we are writing some paragraph here, okay? So this is the paragraph. And some paragraph is present. We keep that paragraph in some div. In a container, we will keep that, or paragraph is there already. For this paragraph, what I'm giving is text align as justified, okay? And width for paragraph, I will give as 200 pixel and height as 100 pixel and border as 2 pixel solid and some darks here. And here I defined some padding. Padding I configured So padding, I configured as 10 pixel. And you can see the paragraph looks like this. So lot of content is outside. For example, width as 400. It's like this. Lot of content is outside. Then what we do is we keep here overflow. So we define as overflow as hidden. That means any extra content will be hidden. But actually, I want to show the users that we have a lot of more information. If you want to click more button, generally we give more option for that. But overflow hidden, after that, what we do is I'm writing here white space. So here I'm configuring. So white space we can define as no wrap. That means wrapping will not happen. It will show in continuous line. It shows in continuous line. So here, suppose you have some heading configured here inside the paragraph itself. You have some heading. So heading like about us. And you can see it will display, it is separate heading, right? So just leave it up to this, right? Fine. So suppose we are configuring for this. Okay. Just I'm writing here directly about us, something. About us, some option. Usually right side, if there is more content, overflow means it is hidden. We want to intentionally hide. No wrap means it will continue. Now what we can do is, we can add one more option is text overflow. Text overflow, we can keep it as ellipses. Text overflow as ellipses. When you keep ellipses, what happens is any additional content will keep with the dots like this, dot right side. That is ellipses. We can put a link there and you can say that there is some more information. If you want, click the link. So on the link click, we can take to that page and we can display. So generally, if there is a lot of information to display in a small area, we can't display. Then we will display how much it can show and rest of the content you can hide. After hiding, you can put a ellipsis at the end so that user can know that you have some more content there. So you knows that some more content is present right side. And usually what we do in bottom, we will put a link and say, click here for more. That means there is more description, click here. We will take to that page where you can read it. So such kind of designs are done by using this overflow options. So we don't need to put ... Automatically it will keep that. That is combination. So you have to use overflow hidden, no wrapping, and ellipse. These three combinations you have to define. So otherwise it will not work. Suppose if it is white space is pre-wrap, you will not see that. When white space is no wrap, then only it will display that. And overflow also should be there. If overflow hidden is not given, it will not come. Overflow must be hidden. And the text overflow will give you the symbol ... at the end. We can define that. That's what generally we define for the contents. This is very much important for showing such topics and saying that click here for more details. Right? Regularly seen in the websites, we can do that. Another important is word breaking. Generally, sometimes what happens is justify alignment is okay, good. But justify alignment, sometimes what happens is, suppose I increase font size. So we are increasing font size as some 30 pixels. The font size increases. When font size increases, right side unevenness will increase. If I increase the space between the letters or the words, so that means if I put here, so word spacing as 10 pixels, some space will increase. So some 20 pixels, some space will increase. Now what I do is I will put text align as justify. When I use justify, so unevenness will reduce. But what happens is you will see lot of gap will be there between the words. That looks uneven. That looks not good. Because to adjust the right side margin, so much space it has taken. So even if you don't give word spacing, then you can see that. That's okay. But sometimes what happens is lot of spaces are taken to justify your content. That is the reason justify is not good every time. Then what you can do is we can give word break. Especially this problem will be more if there is lengthy word at the end. For example, in this paragraph, so this is the paragraph. In this paragraph, so this is the paragraph. I will keep the border as 2 pixel solid. That is the paragraph we are having. And width is some 500 pixels. Okay, that is the paragraph. Now, generally, in this paragraph, so right side, so length is there, some height also 200 pixels, like this. Now, lengthy word is present. So, lengthy word. So, see, I'm not breaking the word. Lengthy words are present. So, some lengthy word is present, then it will come like this. It will come like this. So, suppose I have more lengthy word. So, it will be like this. And so, lengthy words, so more lengthy words, then you can see they will come like this, overflow. Generally, if there are lengthy words, it is going to handle in this way. Then what we want is, if there are lengthy words at the right margin, we want to break them. Break those lengthy words and keep aligned in a perfect way. Just what you can do is, you can give as word break. We can use word break and you say break all. It will break the words in the right margin. You can see this is half and after that next. Even you take your general paragraph. You take your general paragraph here. So some paragraph I will copy and paste. Don't use justify alignment. Use word break for that. So without justified alignment, use word break here. And you can see that the lengthy words will break manufactured. It will break and come to next line. Suppose I am not configuring the width and all. So width and height, I will remove that just to show you. Even though you don't define, so right side, you see Microsoft Corporation, TION will come to the next line. It will break those words and keep them. Otherwise, what happens is that word comes to next line automatically. If you don't give word break, then what happens is it will be in this way. Microsoft, that entire word comes to next line and it will adjust some space between the words automatically. We don't want like that. We want to break the word and continue. We don't want extra spacing. Then you can use this technique. The words can break when it go to the rights. Such options are defined by using the word brick, configured by using word brick. So these are all the important text effects. Text orientation and text directions. I already told you yesterday that we don't prefer this text orientation and text effects. So because several browsers don't support. Actually, text orientation is text have an orientation. We can keep the orientation. Yesterday we discussed that. So right to left, sideways right. So these effects are present, but they don't have much effect on the contents in every browser. These are outdated now. We don't prefer them and we don't use them anymore. Earlier we used to have, but now everything we generally define by using CSS, 2D and 3D effects. By using CSS, 2D and 3D effects, we can configure them and we can define them. So generally, when you are specifying, when you are defining the text directions, now in the advanced generation effects, they are good for text direction. Others will not be great because several browsers are not going to support them properly. That's the reason. Now that is how you configure the text effects, different types of text effects, and work with the text effects. So that means how you define the text styling. In that, we have styling of fonts, colors, effects, and everything. Next, important after understanding text styling means how you define the text styling. Now we need to know one more option is list styling. We have list styling. List styling means when you are writing ordered list, unordered list, how to configure the styles for ordered list and unordered list. What are the options? Already list styling, we know some options like we discussed, if you remembered, in HTML itself, how to put our own symbols, icons for ordered list, how you can define. We learned about that. We will see one option, how we can configure and define the lists. So let's write some lists. So like an ordered list. So we are defining list item HTML, another list item CSS, another list item some JavaScript like this. And this is the general list items we are having. It's an ordered list. Now I want to change the effects for the list. So generally by default, we have list ordered 1, 2, 3, 4 numbering because it is ordered list. Even it is ordered list, we can change it to numbers, symbols, because already we learned we have an attribute called type that changes the number type. Instead of that, now for ordered list, you can use the additional options, and the options are nothing but one is list style type. List style type, so you can put different types. Like, so you can put a number type, so upper alphabet, so Roman letters, upper Roman letters, and you can keep that list style like this. You can use even disk, it will keep in a disk style. You can keep and lower alpha, alpha. You can keep lower alphabets, A, B, C, D. Even it is an ordered list or unordered list, you can change the type here itself. Earlier we learned that ordered list will have type A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, like unordered list have like symbols like circle, square. But ordered list or unordered list, you can change by using list type, list style type. And we also have an option, instead of, if you don't want the list symbols, then we can use list style as none. If I keep list style none, list style as none, so none is the list style, then it will not have any numbering. If you want a picture, then we also have list style image. Image, you can keep an URL and you can access from /assets. We have a bullet.png. We can add that image and we can display. Already we discussed in HTML, so we can keep our own here. If you want the font size, like font size, we defined 30 pixels. It will increase the font size. So bullet symbols you can change and you can keep your own. You can define list style and you can define list type. We have list position. Actually, list position is, so we have list style position. List style position. We have inside and outside. Generally, inside outside is visible only if it is having some border. Suppose ordered list is having a border. So 2 pixel and a solid. So we have a border and it is the border. Generally, the border give for list items. You give the border for list item. Li, for list item, I given the border. Now you can see that when we give the border for list item, the symbol is outside. Symbol is outside. I can keep here list style position as inside. Then you can keep that inside. You can bring it inside. You can also adjust the line height as so some 20 pixel. Then it will adjust the line height. Suppose say 50 pixel. It will adjust the line height. Height of the line will be adjusted. So you can adjust so line height for every list item. So here I said line height. Line height I am defining here as 20 pixel. That means the distance between them. I said as 50 pixel, then space size height will increase. Not space between the lines. Space between the lines, already we discussed that we have to manage that by using, technically we have to manage that by using margin. That means for every list item, we need to adjust the bottom margin. So we say, if there is no border, it will be okay. If there is no border, then it will show that height, distance it will show. But when you are having border, then line height is not enough. So if you are having border, then you want some space between them to show. So then what you have to do is, so we need to set the space by using margin bottom. So margin bottom and 20 pixels, it will put the space between. That is basically how we can configure. So how you define. Of course, you can put backgrounds also for unordered list, ordered list and all. So list styles will have 3 important options. What are the options? One is list style type. Another one is list style image. And we have list style position. And you know that the other attributes we discussed, from where to start with, reverse numbering, all these are defined with general attributes. They are not defined by using this. I already showed you nested list, how to write the nested list, how to configure the nested list. We already learned about that, right? So technically, when you are dealing with styles, these are the basic options we need to know. So lists, we have list style type, we have list style image, and we have list style position. These are the 3 options. If you don't want any numbering like style, then you remove that. List style, you can keep it to none. Actually, list style is shorthand. You can define the type. So type, so like upper alpha. So you can keep space. You can put an URL here. So URL, and directly you can define. You can keep the position inside, outside, or you can separately write them and separately configure them. Mostly while working with the lists. So this is very important and very regularly used options. Next, after understanding how we can define the lists, how you configure the lists and define them. Now, generally, text effects, lists, and configuring of general position of the list items and bullet symbols. Once we know this, next important in CSS, we need to know about responsive web designs. Responsive web design. How we can create responsive web designs. Responsive web design is nothing but making the page fit according to the device. Making the page fit according to the device. It should change according to the device. That's very important. It should change according to the device. Already we learned some options here. Few more options we need to understand here. Some options already we discussed. So what are the options that we discussed to make responsive web design? So responsive web design is nothing but making the content fit according to device. So that means make your content to fit according to the device. In that case, generally, for that to create responsive web designs, we need to have one is fluid grids. We need to have fluid grids. That already we learned by using display grid. Yes, display grid. And we learned display flex. Last session we learned already. Display flex, right? Display grids, display flex are fluid grids, flexible designs actually. Another one is fluid images. Fluid images means fluid images are nothing but if you keep 100% percentage, 30%, 40%, depending on the percentage of the browser bit. This image we know. That means generally width we give in pixels. Now we give in percent, 50%. That means it will be 50% of browser. It will adjust according to browser. So these are already learned. To create responsive design, these are used. We have fluid grids and we have fluid images. But not only fluid grids and images, another very important in responsive design is media query. Another important is media queries. Media queries also very important in creating responsive design. Responsive design actually should change according to orientation of device also. Suppose you are watching some YouTube on your video on your mobile. Then actually mobile have two orientations. Mobile have a portrait orientation. Mobile usually have a portrait orientation and it will have a landscape orientation. Now when I turn it to landscape, automatically it should come into full screen. When it turn to portrait, then it should display some here like this. If it is landscape, then it should fit. That means it depends on how you are watching your device. You are rotating your device. According to that, it should change. We can do that. That's what actually these media queries are. How to write the media query, how we configure the media queries and define the media queries. So for example, so the media queries are used for creating responsive designs. So how you do that? So let's see. For example, suppose we have the list items. So like we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or suppose this is a toolbar. We have options like home, like we have option like about. So we have option like contact, like this. We have some options configured. Home, about, contact, like this we have design. We will create a toolbar also. We will see how we can design and configure a toolbar also. We can use any of them. Now the concept is when you are designing such screens, depending on the device and width and height, it should change. See how it can change it, how it can keep it more responsive and configure it. So what we have to do is we have to write the media queries. So generally, media queries are configured in this way. We have to use an option media, media. By using this media, we can define the query. So it uses we have media type, and we also, by using this, we configure the effects. So what is the media query? What is the media type? And how they are actually means how they are defined, how they are managed. So we will see that. Generally, media queries means according to the screens or printing. That means when you try print on a paper, its appearance will be different. When you are trying to see on a screen, its appearance will be different. That is one media type. So that is one media type. You can use that media type, or you can use this presentation in this way. Let's see. I have to define media, media. Okay. We can see first media is screen. So media is screen. When I am watching on screen, then what I want it. So I want to display some background color as some light golden yellow when I'm watching on screen. Okay. And when I'm watching on screen, so the ordered list, so list style should be none. So it should be none. It should be removed. And so here I want to display, so the text align to center like this. This is, I am watching on screen. I want to display like that. That means you can see when you this page, and when it is watched on screen, it will be like this. But when I take print out, its appearance should be different. So when I take a printout, its appearance must be different. I want to show a different appearance. So that means on printout, I want to show a different appearance. On screen, I want to show a different appearance. So these are the options we need to display. Then generally, how you manage them. So you will write one more media query now. So we say media. So if it is print, so that means if it is print media, then body. So background color, background color will be white. you will see currently it is shown on screen, it is showing like this. When I go to printout, Control P, it will open printing options. Then its appearance is normal. On printing, it will show like this, but on screen, it will display like this. We can change for different. That means printing should be in one way and presentation should be in another way on screen. We can do that by using media type. So we can write media type as print or we can type media type as screen. We can also use not only type, we can also use media query. This is media type, screen and print media types. We can also define, so media queries. Query like, generally, media query is nothing but if it is landscape, if it is portrait orientation, you can adjust according to width and height also. You can orientation. Media orientation, if it is landscape, that means when user is watching in a landscape mode, then I will put here, so ordered list style as none, okay, and our display, one more option is display, we will keep as flat, margin right as some 50 pixels. Landscape orientation. In landscape, it should look like this. It should look like this. For list item, we have like border 2 pixel solid. So, and we have like padding as 10 pixels. So we have border radius is some 20 pixel like this. And you can see it will be in this way. So 10 pixel is enough, right? So we can define width. Width is 200 pixels. So that's how it is going to display. This is landscape mode. This is in the landscape mode. It is showing like this. When it is portrait, its appearance should change and the text align. So keep it to center. Like this, they will come. Now, I want in a portrait mode. Then when it is in a portrait, then what you can do is you can see that in a portrait mode, we can give a different appearance. So here we will write another media and orientation is portrait. So that means the orientation we defined as portrait. If the orientation is portrait now, then you can define a different effect for that. So that means we say portrait, right? This is portrait, so we can keep some other effects. Now what we do is we will keep that ordered list style as none. Display we keep as block, display block, and for list item, so margin bottom we will keep as 20 pixels, and padding and other options will be same. Padding, border, radius, width, and all these will be same. Only the orientation changes. Now here, I'm changing the width of this. And when I'm changing the width of the window, it's not adjusting. Why? Because changing the width will not make it portrait or landscape. So it is rotating your device, or you have tabs or you have your laptops support tab, switch to tab mode. And you see now I am rotating my tab here. When I'm rotating it, and you can see that in a portrait mode, its appearance is different. In a portrait mode, its appearance is different. In a landscape mode, its appearance is different. Its appearance is different. That means in a portrait mode, it is changing. So you can test that in a normal way also. For example, you see here. So border, I'm not giving. So border also 2 pixel. So solid. Okay. And you can see that you can go to inspect element. In that inspect element, you observe here. So there is orientation. So you see now here, there is an option, toggle device. In that, this is orientation. This is rotate. You have an option rotate at the top. You rotate here. And I will change the zoom level a little bit here. Okay. When I rotate this, you see it will be like this. That is landscape. And this is portrait. In portrait, one below another. In landscape, one beside another. If you are watching on a mobile and you are rotating your mobile, so it will change that appearance. Even my laptop here, and I changed the orientation to portrait, then it will come like this. So it rotates in this way. And again, I am changing the orientation. Again, it will display in this way. That means it changes the orientation of the device. According to that orientation, it will apply. You can even apply for width and height also. That means I want this to happen for width also. Suppose if browser width is so 200, minimum 400 pixels, they should come one below another. If I am adjusting right side, they should be side by side. If it is more than 400 or 500 pixels, then it should come one below another. Then generally what you can do is, instead of orientation, you can use one more option here. Instead of orientation, you can give one more option here. You can write attributes like max width. We can write like attributes like max width. How much? So pixels. Width 400 pixels now. So if I am adjusting the width, so 400 pixels, it should change its appearance. It should change the appearance and define that appearance. That you have to define for both options now. So if max width is this, if it is screen and max width is this, we have to write like this. That means if it is screen, so if it is screen and we have to use condition and max width is 400 pixels, then it will display in this way. Like that, you have to configure the option. That means on screen, if you are presenting and the maximum width is 400 pixels, how it should appear. We can write the media query like this. Then you have to define that. Now, one more option is here also I need to change landscape portrait. So here also we need to change. Let's keep in a simple way to understand both the effects. Then height, both the options in a simple way. So how to manage the orientation and define the orientation. So here I am configuring the orientation like this. That means I am saying that at the net, so media is screen, and the max width. So max width is some 200 pixels to 200 pixels or 400 pixels. In that case, then ordered list. So display, we will keep as flex, like this we will keep. So depending on that, that means based on the width and height, it will display. Now we need to adjust. Again, we have max width and we have the option min width. What is difference max width, min width? I will show you. So minimum width and maximum width. So 400 is very less. I am defining some 600 or something like this. It will be in this way. I am adjusting here. When it comes to 600, it will come side by side. So I can give some spacing also. I will give, so list item, so margin right as some 50 pixels I will give. Now you see what happens here. When I'm adjusting the width, when it reaches 600 pixels, automatically it will come side by side. I'm adjusting that here, again it will come below. Minimum starting from 600 pixels, minimum width. If it is 600 pixels, from 600 pixels, it comes to line. This we can adjust. We can write in this way. That's how we design the toolbars and configure the toolbars. Huh? Right. So we can configure that and we can define according to the width. That means when I'm adjusting the width, so if it is 600 pixels, it will keep side by side. And more than 600 pixels, it will be side by side. When I shrink this, automatically it will fit into this. You can see, I just designed a basic design. You can create so many things. Now I will give you one task. You have to try that. So the task is, you need to design a toolbar. So the toolbar, I will upload into the classroom now. The toolbar should be having the design like this. That means this toolbar should display like this. In this, the toolbar should have home and it should have about and contact like this. If it is landscape, if it is portrait, the toolbar should come like this. So that means here it should have the options home. So like about and like contact, all this should be vertical. That means you need to design one toolbar for two orientations. You keep the home symbols, icons by using Font Awesome. About contact like symbols and icons. You need to design one toolbar, which will be landscape and portrait. And if you can design that, I will show you one more advanced toolbar, how to design and work with that. I think now you can design such toolbar by yourself, am I right? With some icons, home icon, about icon, contact icon, you can try this, right? So you can use the Font Awesome and you can use the symbols and icons. And orientation, landscape, it will be like this. And portrait, it will be vertical. You need to design that. And if you can do that, now we can go into another important options. I will show you one more responsive toolbar. We can go into 2D and 3D effects. 3D effects that we will see in our next session. Start working with Bootstrap after we finish 2D and 3D. So with Bootstrap, we can give more options and work with them. Okay. You can take help of notes and everything. No problem. Okay. Right. Then on Monday, we will discuss about some designs using this